What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another exciting episode of Trek Talk. And this is also an episode of Toy Quest, because we have a really cool toy today. This is the 1979 Southbend USS Enterprise. So let's take a closer look, shall we? That's right, this is the Enterprise NCC 1701, as seen in Star Trek The Motion Picture. This toy came out in 1979, made by the Southbend Toy Company, which was bought out by Play School in 1960. Some really interesting history there. They came out with a few Star Trek related items. I believe a phaser and a communicator playset. Didn't have much in the way of licenses. And then the company was bought out in 1968 by Milton Bradley and was later closed in 1985. Southbend originally started out in the early 1800s, actually. This is really fascinating. They started making doll houses, wooden doll houses, and they moved into wooden cars, wooden Model Ts and Tin Lizzies, that kind of stuff. So very cool. And of course, Star Trek The Motion Picture. What can you say about that movie? Of course, I'm not here to give any opinions on the movie itself. Those who know me know that it's my favorite movie of all time. You either love it or hate it. We're not here to discuss that today. The movie did have a lot of tie-in merchandise to it, which was extremely cool at the time. Of course, because of the huge marketing bonanza that came with Star Wars, actually, and toys. Basically, the list is too long to list what Star Wars did with merchandising, which was absolutely brilliant on George Lucas's part. And Star Trek tried to capture some of that magic. They had everything from Happy Meals, toys. Mego came out with a whole line of action figures, a bridge playset. There was, like I said, the McDonald's tie-in where you could get a Star Trek The Motion Picture Happy Meal. I know, because I had one. This was such a wonderful evening. I remember my dad took me to go see Star Trek The Motion Picture, and I was just totally enthralled about it. It set the bar for science fiction movies for forever for me. And we capped off the evening by stopping at McDonald's and getting me a Star Trek Happy Meal. And I even got a cool little communicator bracelet in the Happy Meal, and I was just, that was awesome. I was the Mac Daddy with that thing. But we're kind of getting off track here. Let's examine the Southbend 1979 Enterprise. This is the refit. This is not the original one from the series. This is the redesigned movie version of the Enterprise. It originally started out as a totally different design when Star Trek was going to be, before it was released as a movie, it was going to be a TV series, and then a TV movie known as Star Trek Phase 1, which didn't happen for a lot of different reasons. Everything from the script to the actors. They had a hard time getting Leonard Nimoy back on board. And he was going to be replaced with a Vulcan science officer named Zahn, who we see briefly in Star Trek The Motion Picture. I believe he was one of those that died in the horrible transporter accident. But again, I'm just riffing on one of my favorite movies, so never mind me. This is actually a really cool, kind of a rare toy. It's hard to find it in really good condition. This one is not in the best shape. You can tell it was played with. But we're going to examine this closely. But again, this is the refit. I kind of got off track, but yeah, they redesigned the ship for the movie. It was designed by Andrew Probert, and I just think it's one of the most beautiful spaceships in movie history. So let's take a closer look at this one, shall we? Okay, here's the details of it. It takes one 9-volt battery. It has a little LED light that flashes, and you have this little switch right here on the impulse drive. Now, those who don't know the layout of the Enterprise, let me run that by you real quick, okay? This is the bridge right here, this little section. It's not the whole saucer. I've run into people that thought the bridge was in the entire saucer. It's not. These are the warp engines. This is the engineering hull. Down here, that's the main deflector dish, the main sensor array. The grid you see is the shield grid pattern. And I'm just becoming a total nerd here today, aren't I? Okay. So where was I? It takes a 9-volt battery, and it comes with this cool switch that you get the little engine noise, and the further you turn it, Look at that. Now we're warp speed. And then once you get to the top, look at that, you get the phaser. Look at that. You can power down. Okay, but that's not the only cool feature about this toy. This thing is awesome because you can take her apart. You can make other, look at that. So you have all these different parts, so you can make different ships. Like let's put this puppy here, put this guy here. Look at that, you get a whole totally different starship design. You know, this is kind of like you know, Faza made some role-playing games in the 80s, and they had all these awesome different starship designs. So you can actually make some of those really cool ships. And this is just one of the coolest, I think the coolest Star Trek toy. And it has a really nice size to it. I don't have the display to this, so you can even relive scenes like, you know, this with the saucer separation. So you can, you know, da 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 da. So you can do that, or you can, well, you can just use your imagination, but you have all the parts to do it. So this is a really cool toy. I highly recommend it. And let's put her back together before Scotty gets drunk and mad at me, because there's no bloody A, B, C, D, or E, just the original Enterprise. There she is right there in all her glory. The USS Enterprise, made by Southbend. Do I recommend this toy for your collection? Absolutely. It would be illogical not to have this in your collection. Price-wise, it all depends on condition. I paid $25 for this one because one of the tabs are broken on the warp nacelle. I'm not even going to pull it off because it is brittle. It's a nice scale. I did not have the stand for it either, but on the shelf, I mean, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I know Diamond Select makes a more recent one, and it's just tiny in comparison. This is a cool model of the Enterprise refit, which again is the most beautiful starship in science fiction history. I don't care about the Millennium Falcon or any of that other crap. The Enterprise is the beauty. As far as prices go, I've seen mint in a sealed box, go for around $175 to $200. That seems to be about the going rate right now as of 2020. So definitely go out and pick one of these up out of the box. Condition wise, like I said, $25. I paid for this one. I've seen them go for usually around $50 seems to be the median price to this. It's also kind of rare, so you'll be scouring eBay for a little bit for one of these. And they also, you can download replacement decal sets for this, which I need to do for this guy. So I'd like to, I'm going to clean this up and restore it. So, cool toy. Thanks for watching Trek Talk. I highly recommend this. Go grab one. And join us next time for more Star Trek chat. And before we go, I have to, this is the first time I'm doing this, shameless self-promotion. Buy my comic book, Dinosaur, written by me and art by Milana Ferris. If you like manga, you're going to love this. So drop me a email right down below. Get your own copy, and it's only $5, and enjoy. It's a 25-page comic book of samurai dinosaurs, so check it out. Alright, thanks for joining. Drop me a like, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of Star Trek the Motion Picture. Sci-fi masterpiece, or is it Star Trek the Motionless Picture to you? You know what? I love it, and I'm going to watch it tonight, and live long and prosper.